So there's some information about what's going on next month. There will be no Zoom meetings on the Saturday evening and Sunday morning in November, but there will be in November there will be a whole weekend. So it's 19, 20 November. We'll do a weekend from in Amsterdam time from 1 till 7 with breakout rooms. I know now how that works. And we have a lot of time to speak with each other, so that will be nice. And you can find more information on my website. You can write an email to register, and there's a PayPal thing you can pay for the weekend. And maybe we'll see each other there. And there's always also weekends in a live weekend in Amsterdam. That's for everybody, also in English, and can be some Dutch maybe, but also English. And that's 3 and 4 December. So you're very welcome to come, and maybe we see each other live. That's something else, because I was in San Francisco and it was such a difference that we were meeting each other in live, and yeah, it felt very strong and energetic. But for now, we do the Zoom. We do the Zoom. There's also a possibility, if you want to make an appointment to a one-to-one, maybe with Zoom or Skype, or and there I am asking some money for that. If you just want to call for 10, 15 minutes or something like that, just call. I don't charge for that, and we'll see if I'm available at that time, and we have a chat. That's always possible during my day. Okay, so this is a meeting about nothing. It's about nothing. There's no point in this meeting. There's no agenda. There's nothing really happening. There's no development. So there's nothing to get. That's amazing, because most meetings where you come to, then there's something going on, like maybe to get clearer about this message. Maybe there's still a longing for losing the me, or maybe getting more freedom. When there's me, that feels like I am someone, there's always a certain longing for something that seems to be missing. There's underneath, when there's me, there's always something going on, like this is not right yet. This is, and there's missing something. I feel not satisfied. There's no satisfaction. Somebody said, like this tone. It's something like that, and it doesn't. It's never found in the story. There's so many things going on. You try to get enough money, or relation, or children, and it's finally it's not that. And that's amazing, because we think everything is in the story. The story seems so real, like other me and other persons and circumstances. So when there's a missing somewhere, or feeling it's not right yet, we have to make it right. We have to make it right, or we have to find it in the story. So maybe it's about money, maybe it's about friends, maybe it's about power. Maybe it's about understanding also. That's huge. That's a huge one, because understanding seems so giving something like all knowing. There are a lot of teachings about all knowing, and it seems to feel like then that's the end. There's still someone that knows. So in the end, there's still some underneath that, can be something going on, like this is the search or something like that. This meeting and this message is about loss, and it's the loss of everything. So it's also the loss of identity. And identity is a very strong thing. When there's an identity, when there's me, seems to be an identity. I am someone. I did a lot of things, and now it's going better. I'm developing more free. There's more freedom now. I make my life work. There's a lot of money, or there can be anything. It feels like I did that, and or I didn't. I didn't. There are also people like, oh, nothing is working. I can't do it, and I'm a failure, and things like that. So it's both. And there's always a battle, you can say, a battle between the two. Like I can or no, I can't, and that's the battle of me, and that's the strongest thing that's going on in the story. You can see it working out in the circumstances in the seemingly world. That it's also always about um, trying to get it, trying to win, to get power, to know, or about failure and not getting it and trying to. And it's always the same story. When it doesn't matter where it's about, it's always the same story. If there's something wrong and I make it right, something like that. And then there's this message, and it's not in the story. It's saying it's not in the story, and then there's something going on. Okay, there can be something going on, like, oh, but is there something outside of the story? What's that? What's that? How is that possible? And there seems to be, and that's maybe the people are coming in this meeting, somewhere a recognition or that there's something going on. It's because there's been so many ways and spiritual ways and everything, and it's not that. And there's it has to be something else, but it can't be understood. And that's the strange and also the joyful thing of this message. It can't be understood, but it doesn't need to. That's the joy. It doesn't need to be understood because it's just life. Life is everything. So it's drinking coffee. You can't understand that. It's just that. And when there's very much talking, there's these days there's much around about explaining how it's like me working and how it's working in the story and what if there's no time and everything explained. There can be an explaining, but the explaining is not important. It's not important if you understand it, if you get it. There's nothing to get. Even not the understanding is not important. These words coming from nowhere, they are, it's just words. They are a carrier. Maybe they're making something more clear and there can be a loss of concept. That's nice. But this is not about a loss of concept because this is about there's no me. There's already no me. And that's strange because we think there's something to do. I have something to do, or this is not it yet, or what is this, or a lot of questions. And it's already what's happening. That's amazing because we normally think, yeah, this can't be it because it's awful and this is my life. It doesn't work out or anything like that. It's disappointing. And then somebody saying, this is it. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't like it or something like that. I want something else. That's part of the me. Me always thinks, this can't be it. I want something else. I want something for me. I want something to feel better, to feel more relaxed, feel comfortable, to feel happy for me. And that's this message. It's not for you. It's talking about this is everything. So there's nothing in it for me because there's already no me. So it's just already there. And that's what's happening, is it? There can be drinking coffee or a table. Even the body or the table, there's no difference. There's a difference in seeing the table looks different. But we think, sorry, we think we are the most important thing that happens in the world. It's all about me. I'm the center, and it's everything is busy trying to make my life work or trying to find out what's the best for me. It's not about me. It's not about you. Life isn't interested in me or you or us. It is. So there's nothing going on in this message about giving something because there's not seeing anyone. It's already empty. And there's underneath that talking or the sharing of this message underneath, that's where this is all about. You can't grasp it, but there's something underneath that's going. It's energetic. And we see what happens and you can say anything. You can ask any question. It doesn't matter where it's about. It doesn't need to be a non-dualistic question. It can be also in the story. It doesn't matter. There's something, okay. And then there's just what's going on. So when there's popping up a question, then just ask. It doesn't matter where it's about, or want to say something, to share. Just it's everything. So it doesn't matter where it comes from, where it's about. There's no meaning. There's no meaning at all. It's just what's happening. And this is an appearance. Nothing is real. It's an appearance. It's nothing, and it's happening like an appearance. It's all energy. You don't have to see that. When you should think, oh, I don't see that. Now it's still not happening. It doesn't matter. When it's seeing like it's real, then they're seeing like it's real. So that's what's happening. That's life. There's no need for anything. That's the joy. So you can start if you want to. You can unmute yourself, say something, or not saying anything, falling asleep. Anything can happen. It doesn't matter. It's what happens. It's not you doing that. It's life already. If you want to say something, you just unmute yourself and you start. There's not too many people to raise your hand. There's no need for that. It's very normal. It's also very normal. This is not special. Rose is also not special, something like that. It's very normal. Can be very silly. Can be anything. It's not about the life of Rose that she's different now. There's no life of Rose. There's what's happening, and that can be walking, playing cards, anything.
Hi, Rose.
Hello. Hi.
I was thinking the other day that the fact that we have a name makes the separation bigger, or makes the
What?
me bigger.
What the name you mean?
That we have a name. My name is Lieve.
Oh yeah.
Rose,
Okay.
and
Mm,
yeah, it's like I can feel if I wouldn't have a name,
mm,
I would feel more like, yeah, I'm
mm,
everything, or I'm
yeah.
nobody. I don't know.
Mm, yeah, but it's not in the name. Yeah, I can hear what you say. It feels like that, but it in the same time it's not. It's not about that. That's more like because there's an identity, and it seems like the name and the identity are confirming each other. But when there's me, there will always something that confirms that there's me, and that can be a name or can be something else. So it's not. I did something about when we were sannyasins with the Osho movement. Then we did have to change our names. That was the same thing. Like then there's no identity anymore. That worked for a while, and then there was a new name. Yeah, it's just in the story.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank
Hmm.
you.
This is not about something that happens or seems to happen like names or circumstances. This is about there's nothing wrong. There's nothing right either. There's nothing going on about that. So it's underneath that. It has nothing to do with circumstances or names or anything. It's about something else. And that there's nothing wrong. It's already everything. That's and that's energetic. You can't say that to yourself because that's also a concept, but it's more that. And the strange thing is, I was a time ago, I was speaking with somebody who thought who was having an experience, and everything became very clear. It was very obvious and everything like that. And after a while, I got bored to listen to that. It was a bit strange because I thought, oh, it's very clear, and still there's some boredom. And then the strange thing is, then when they're talking to somebody else, and there's can't can't even express what is going on. There's something lost and can't even say what it is. And it's like, oh wow, I want to have more. I want to more. It's so stunning when people are talking like that. And there's no clear, nothing is clear. It's even just missing the words and don't know how to say it. And then it's suddenly like, oh wow, there's something happening. There's oh, this is it. So it's it's energetic.
Hey Rose.
Hello. Hi.
Uh, Hi Rose. I'm in a way I feel like this. I had the lust to jump in the harbor because of this message. It's
Oh,
yeah. It's I'm so glad of hearing this
uh,
when
oh,
yeah
yeah,
when you talk about this storytelling.
yeah,
And yesterday I was talking with a woman, and she told me a story about when she goes into the cold water, this
yeah.
winter thing.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, then she goes, then she said, I go from my head and down in my body. And so,
Yeah.
and in a way, I couldn't understand understand what she was telling me, because then I asked, what is this with going down in the body? Because it's so
That's
it's
it.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so
Oh, yeah,
normal
yeah.
to tell this,
Yeah, yeah.
and in a
Oh,
way, when I said this, because in a way I couldn't, of
mm,
course I can't understand,
mm,
she's telling this, but when I was saying, I can't understand what you are telling me, then in a
yeah.
way I felt I was not, a good person.
Ah,
Oh,
mm,
now at
yeah.
least I understand, and so on, but I couldn't.
Ah,
And then I thought,
yeah.
yeah, and
Ah.
yes, and then I thought, maybe she thinks I'm stupid because
Yeah, sure, but that's the normal way. That I can hear. I can remind that that's. I was a lot of times was thinking I'm not so smart because I do not understand that. Yeah, so yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's so what we need to do. It's about understanding, and people talk in mysteries, like this going to the from here to there. Oh, what? One moment, I have to charge my thing. Wait, oh my god. There's suddenly a message. Oh my god! I hope it will not. Oh, we're safe. Oh god. Yeah, we're so into the story, and then but it seems so complicated, and then when you're in your own story, it feels like yeah, that's it, and then hearing that, you can't even follow it. Yeah, yeah, strange. It's not about that. It's something. It's so simple. It's something else. And that whole me, that whole thinking, that it loves complication and a mystery and things like that. And it feels good to talk about that. And it's just nothing.
yeah,
It's nothing special. Also, that's more. We want to feel special somewhere. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
It's a
yeah.
little bit funny, when we are talking about this. There's more a sensing, of
Mm,
contraction. It is more, you can say, present, uh, and in a way,
mm,
in a way it's funny because it's so simple.
mm,
Yeah, I don't know, but it's
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But in this, when they're talking about this in this meeting, and there's no answers or there's not going nowhere, there's something and energetic going. It's not my thing, but it's energetic. It's when they're talking about it, then that there's something going on, and it can be felt. Yeah, sure. But it doesn't mean it's nice. Can be also. I did have a lot of trembling in my legs, a lot of being tired after meetings. I was in this meeting a long time ago. There was always some physical reaction, but it can be all kinds of reactions or nothing. It can also be like that. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Or a contraction, get even more. Yeah, sure, can happen too. So different. Yeah. But it's just life. It's just that body in a way. That's that, and that has nothing to do with oh I'm more in the me now or something. No, it's just that very simple and that very one thing that's happening for no reason. We think oh this is because of the meeting. It's not even that. Yeah. Mhm. Because of Rose. That's something.
Because you're talking to me.
Yeah, yeah, that's. I think that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it has nothing to do with that. That's what I thought. It will be glorious, and people will see me. The energy will be felt, or things like that. No, it's not like that at all. Mhm.
Good. Okay, thank you, Rose.
Yeah, thanks. There's a chat. Listening to this message or wanting to know me, is it because of not being satisfied in life or not being happy? Now, when there's not being happy or not feeling satisfied, there's looking for something. And that can be in the story. We know a lot of things in the story, and that can be like spirituality, like working on yourself or trying to get um, somewhere, I don't know. And there can be also art, there's understanding, there's this non-duality. And oh, there's people, they don't have a me anymore. Oh, maybe that's it, where we are. Then will be the end, and then there will be, well, no, there will be maybe more happiness or maybe that. So it seems like another goal because there's something going on underneath that it's not right yet. It's not. There's no satisfaction. There's something missing, something like that. It seems like there's, and that whole tool we have, like the way we do it, like how to make my life work. That had it was in maybe searching for a relationship, of getting money, or things like that, or in spirituality. And then when they're seeing oh, there's non-duality meetings, then they're finding no me. It's in the same story, in the same tools, same way, looking for it. And it can't be understood then that it's not about that. It's sometimes well, it's not hearing that because it's so looking for something and then it's not hearing it's everything. That's impossible to hear sometimes. Somewhere maybe it gets in and it's like underneath. It's you could say it in that's a story, but you can't say it's like a building and there's something grasping in the woods and it's destroying all those structures. and then it falls down a bit. It can't get that anymore, so it falls down a bit. And that's about loss. Something that's a way of expressing it. There's already no me. There's no me around. There's no center. It's empty. Everything is empty. So there's bodies and tables. It's empty. It's just life, energetic, moving around. And it seems like, because we're seeing like borders, like the body is a border, and there's a table and has borders, and countries have borders. And it's not real. That's because we can abstract everything, so it seems like it's separate, but it isn't. It's just one. It's only one. It's that complication. It's like, it's very simple, and there's nothing going on about anything. And there's that whole thing, that looking, that search, that energy, that searching for something, because it feels like there's something missing. I want it, or I'm not feeling good about this, or I just feel separation. And it's so complicated. That whole structure, that whole me trying to find, it's lots complication. It's so simple. It's too simple, and like it's too simple to understand. That's the amazing thing. But it doesn't need understanding. Just eating chocolate. That's it. What is there to understand? Mm. Another question. Can you speak about traumatic events and PSTD? Trauma part of the and post. I don't know. Part of the character. Here in the body mind, I'm always shaken by abuse events I read or hear, and I'm becoming sad and anxious for days. Like in the story, there seems to be a past, there seems to be traumatic events, and there seems to be something going on in the body still, because there was a suffering, or maybe seeing a suffering from that on television, or hearing that from somebody, and the reactions, and in that sense, and the story. But it's a story. There can be there can be a feeling, but that it's when you're saying, I read or hear this and I'm becoming sad or anxious for days. It's not sad or anxious for days. It's maybe they're feeling sad, and they're walking, and they're drinking coffee, and then suddenly they're thinking, and they're feeling sad, and then something else is coming. So it's not whole day in that sense, because we think we are one person, one structure, one body, mind, thing. And there's inside, I'm here and I'm feeling sad all day. It can be feeling sad, and there's no reason. And we think it's because of she did tell me about that, and it was so awful to hear that. There can be, when there's somebody talking, there can be a feeling. There can be like that, and there can be crying, and it's a feeling. And then there's walking, and then maybe there's a subtle feeling. But we make a story of it, and that seems like, oh, that's because of that. And I'm feeling now this, and then the whole story. And it's when there's a story, it sticks, and then it becomes something little bit more solid, and it's become something, and that seems like, oh, what can I do about it? Oh, and I'm thinking about it, and it's getting stronger. This is about loss, and that there's nothing sticking, and then that whole, it's it's not about understanding that there's no me. When that's not there, it's when there are thoughts coming, there's nothing sticking or nothing taking it home. It's just coming, and then it's there, and then it's gone again, something like that. So it's loss. And when there's that seems to be me, and I'm the center, and I have, oh, that touches me so much, and it seems like it's yours. It's not yours. It's that feeling. That can be a feeling, but it's not because of anything. And in the story, it seems like, oh, there's been an event, a real event, or maybe they have something. But it's a story, and it's very convincing. We are so grown up in that, and it's very convincing. It's because and why and things like that. We live in time, so there's before and after, and then and because and consequences. So that seems so normal and so how it is. It's a construct. That's that's the amazing freedom. That's a construct, and you can't think your way out of it. That's saying, "Oh, this is a construct," and but hearing this, that can be a hearing. I don't know what happens then. Maybe you think, "No, that's not right." That's also possible. This is not the truth. And there can be feelings. There can be strong feelings in the body, and it seems like it's about abuse. Doesn't matter. It's not. It's feelings. Just feelings can be very strong. That's the energetic thing. And it's not in your body. It's somewhere. And there's feeling I'm here and I'm the center of this body and that this the this is the border or something like that. I'm here. Then it feels like everything is happening in the body. The body isn't real. It's another one. It's it's energetic, so it's happening in space somewhere. It's not yours. It's not even in the body. It's somewhere in space, and sometimes it comes out like that, and somewhere else, maybe somewhere else. And it doesn't matter. It's going nowhere. It can be feelings, and that's it. No development in that. It's crazy. What do you mean by construct? It's a made up. That's when we think that when there's a trauma and I've been there and maybe there's something happening in the past or with somebody else and we go on and then it's made up and it's going with that. It's like, oh, this is because of that, and oh, and because of that I'm feeling that, and what can I do about it, and that whole thing, that how to make it how to make it work, or how to feel it or do something with it, or why is it happening. it's it's a way of trying to deal with it. That's the construct. It's just this. It's just a feeling, walking. There's no story. The story is part of the me, and the story is very quickly there. It's already when there's a feeling, there's already naming it, and like, oh, what is going on here? That's already a story. It's a story. It's just very subtle, but it's already a story and confirming it's my story and it's happening to me, of being me. There's just this. There's only this. Sitting, maybe a feeling, maybe feeling sensation, the feet on the ground. A
Yep.
sigh. Yeah.
Yeah. Rose, you often mention this like a child, this childish, and I think you know this fairy tale about the emperor without he has no clothes on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's story.
yeah, and I think it's a really in a way
Yeah.
like this because
Yeah.
it is said to people, you are stupid and
Yeah.
you are lazy if you can't see the clothes. And people
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the whole construct about that.
yeah,
And so people, they do, they want not to be stupid. So they
yeah,
say, that's so.
yeah.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
just a child comes, yeah, he has no clothes on.
And he said, yeah, that's the same story. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
I really like this with children. I have
Yeah,
yeah, I have
yeah.
a grandchild, and at Christmas I gave him a packet with a thing in, and I put a lot of newspaper around it, wrapped it in, and so on.
Oh, yeah.
And then he tear it apart, and he couldn't see the present, and he looked at this newspaper, and he was so glad. He said only garbage.
So sweet. Yeah,
He thought
yeah,
the present was
yeah,
garbage, and he was so
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's so fresh. It's completely different than what we think it should be. It is. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great. Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
Yeah, so sweet. Yeah.
yeah.
There's also that joke that I heard it from Tony, and maybe you know already. There was somebody on a bike at the border of Mexico, and he was on his bike, and he was having a sack of sand behind on the back of the bike, and he was going to the border, and then somebody was there, and he was like, do you smuggle something? And I said, yeah. So, and I was looking through the sand, and then no, there was nothing inside the sack. So I said, okay, then no, there's nothing smuggling. So you go, and then he came back, and then for he nearly got every day. He got there with his sack of sand, and never the man of the border didn't find anything. So but I was a sense there's something else going on, but I can't get it. There's something else. It's not in the sense. So what is it? So then a moment, then they were sitting somewhere, and then were in a cafe, and then they were sitting together, and he was the man of the border said, no big deal. I won't do anything about it, but please tell me, what are you smuggling? And then he said, bicycles. I love that story. It's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
It feels a little bit that Yeah, there was a friend, and he says he is depressive, and every day he's crying a lot, and he says he really wants to die. And I know I can't help him, and but I don't find it easy to I like him also, but now it feels a little bit that it's I don't find it easy to I don't know how to say it.
There's nothing, when there's something, there can be a friend crying, and there can be maybe going to him or not. It's what's happening. So there's nothing going on like what is the best to do, or I can't help him because I know this message is not. When maybe there's going to him or not going to him, or I don't know, saying something or not saying something. It's what's happened. So that's already what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way of doing this or not doing this. It's what's happening.
Yeah.
It can't be wrong. It can be painful. That's something else. Or crying. And that's it. What is done or what is not done, that's it. There's nothing better than something else. It's not about, oh, I can't help him. I don't know. There's something, maybe there's something going on or not. What's doing or what's not done. That's it. And that's everything. There's nothing about I can't help him. That seems a bit like a concept of this message. It's like maybe there's doing or not doing or just like it goes by itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll see. Yeah.
You're always thinking like, what is the best thing to do, or oh, then there's hearing a message like this, and then thinking, oh, what is then the best to do or not to do? Or no, I cannot do anything, or that's that me. It's always busy with trying to do the right thing in a way, still somewhere, and trying to use some sentences of that. It's very clever. And it's what's happening. It's maybe there's going or not going, or maybe there's just sitting and a lot of thoughts are coming, or maybe there's crying. I don't know. That's just what's going on. That's life. It's not like a person. It's that energy. It's energy. There's no one inside. Also in the friend, there's no one. There's no one. So there's crying. That's the energy. Can be like that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, Rose. What
Hello.
you said about always trying to do the right thing. Oh,
Mm,
we have an echo, do we? No.
I don't have this.
This is such a burden.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's endless searching for the right thing, and somewhere there's some feeling like, oh, there's some, maybe there's something wrong, maybe I'm doing something wrong, and there's that fear for that. And it's, oh no, no, it's, no.
But also nothing that can be done about it.
No, that the only thing what can happen in that it's such a strong belief that there's something wrong or there's something I have to do the right thing, and those thoughts come and they're really believed. And in these meetings, there's something energetic going on, and then maybe that's something going on, like it's not that strong anymore. That belief cannot be that strong anymore. That's lost. So in that sense, that can happen. But sometimes that's also, it can be much more stronger. But
Right.
because that whole struggling is fighting for its life, so it's really like that, and it feels like such a burden or such a contraction.
I don't let you go.
Yeah. So it can be so strong, but that's the fight of life. Yeah, but it's all right. It's done. That it can be, and don't. And then we think, oh, because there's this explaining. You think, oh, there's still that's going on, and it's very strong. But it's not about you. There's just something going on, like maybe a tension, very strong in the body. A lot of thoughts coming on. That's the energy. It's just energy, and it has no meaning, no content. It seems like it's very strong, but it's just and there's a feeling in the body like that. And that can happen, and that can be walking or anything. It's not the whole day like that, because and maybe there's a focus on it. No, then that's what's happening. It can be very strong, but it's not wrong. It's not going wrong, or no, it's just that energy in that sense, in that way.
But I hate it. I hate it that I'm still so convinced that it's about me, and the me grabs everything, and that's mine.
Yeah, but in the same time, it's not me. It's just that energy can be very strong and convincing, and that's going. And there's maybe a feeling in the body, maybe a lot of thoughts, and that seems very convincing. But that thoughts, and there's still also walking and sitting, and there's that feeling, and it's neutral. It's neutral. It's not wrong or it's not right, because we sometimes you think, oh, that's a good development. It's already getting stronger. We try to make it something in something. It's nothing going on. There's already no one. So it's just energy. It's energy. It has nothing to do with you. It's just energy like that, and then something else comes up. We think we want something else because we think this is mine and this is my life, and I don't feel so good, and it's not your life. It's just energy going and somewhere, and it's not in the body even. Seems like in the body, but it's somewhere. That can be a feeling of stress. That can be here too. It will never. That's here too. It's not like, oh, there never will be stress anymore. No, it's everything. But it can be stress. There can be thoughts. It's the only thing maybe that's falling away. It's that there's nothing going on, like doing something with it. But when that's going on, it's in fact the same. But it seems like there's a difference, because we think, oh yeah, but that's better than what I have now. We're always comparing, like this is better and I want that, or something like that.
As long
because and we can't see that what's going on. Like it's just fire. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's easy to say nothing needs to happen as long as life is pleasant. And,
yeah, sure. No, but it's not saying that because then all those people that are talking about that, it's very boring because it's just superficial. And then there's happening something and come on, then that's all, the whole thing starts again, of course. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Mhm. Oh, there's another chat. If you feel weak, wouldn't you go to a doctor or take vitamins? Maybe, maybe. It can be going to a doctor or not. It's not a decision. It's just going. And it's not only here not a decision. It's never a decision. It's just when there's going to a doctor, suddenly they're sitting with the doctor. Oh, and that's talking. I have such a pain in the body. And oh, that comes out. Yeah, and then that comes out. And they're saying, oh yeah, you have to do that. And I'm saying, yeah, okay, that's good. I will do that. And they're coming home and completely forgetting it. Or maybe doing it. I don't know. It's what happens. It's not logic. It has nothing to do with logic.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, hello.
You often say it's amazing, it's crazy,
Mm.
it's energy. So, but I don't understand what is energy. The question was, did you ever ask yourself about God or something? Because yeah, it's very illogical, nonsense, but it's just words. Amazing, crazy, but it's a big mystery in all.
Yeah, it's a mystery. That's more. It's a mystery, and then we're trying to feel. We want to feel safe. There's feeling. I was not never so much into God, but there's a lot of people into God because that gives a feeling like safe. There's somebody watching me, and there's I am giving some rules that I can do the right thing, or it gives a good feeling I'm doing the right thing, or something like that. Because every time it's about that. It's about there's something gone wrong, and there's the sin, the eternal sin, or how do you call it, also with the Catholic belief, or maybe, and there's something not right, and then God will guide me. That feels like safe or help, like a help. And then they're saying God is a concept. It's just made up by people, but we want to feel safe. So then there can, and there always, with that, there's always rules about how to behave. Well, this is right and this is wrong. That's always with all those concepts about religion or God or another, whatever religion it is. There are always rules about how to behave. Never seeing that it's everything. It's everything. It's life. And how do you know it's energy? It's not about knowing it's energy. It's the way of speaking. Some people say it's silence and it's unconditional love. Can also say that. And sometimes energy is just a very neutral word to say it's life. Then it's everything. It's not in energy. You can't say this is right or wrong. This is just everything is energy.
For me, energy reminds something physic or a scientific. So that's why the mystery and there is a mystery. I cannot give a name. Could be love. It could be. I've never been religious, so God for me doesn't mean anything. But anyway, this is something you can not understand.
No,
I cannot.
no, and it's to be loved. It's life. we try to call it something, but
But
life,
it's not
it's
something
difficult.
that worry you.
Worry me.
Yes, doesn't worry you. Not, yes, okay.
What is not worrying me?
You mean, I mean, in the state, no, you know, there's nobody there, but you don't, you know that it's amazing, you know that it's crazy.
No, it's not knowing.
You say it's crazy, it's amazing, but you don't wonder what all this come from.
No,
No.
there's nothing going on now about that, because it's not coming. No, and that what has come out. It's not us knowing that there's a knowing and then they're saying something about it. It just comes out. It can be like it can be sometimes moments like, oh, what's coming out here? What's that? I didn't know that. Something can come out, and it's not only here, but it's everywhere like that. We think it's we talk from knowledge or what we know. No, talking is just a little it comes out like that. And what is lost is that there's something going on, like looking at yourself or the awareness. That's part of that whole me structure, like just looking at yourself and trying to deal with whatever happening. That's lost. So there's no wondering, no asking myself or doubt, but it's also not sure. I'm not sure. This is just talking.
Okay.
And it's crazy because it's more, I think sometimes it's saying it's crazy because it's when they're talking in the story, it seems so logical and consequences and before and after and all that. And then suddenly there's this message. It's completely out of that. That's somewhere it feels crazy. It's so crazy in that sense. It can't be understood. You don't need to say it's crazy. That's coming from you. It's also wonderful, but that can also be said like that. It's a wonder. It's a wonder. It's everything. That's amazing. That's so stunning. It's so touching also. Like, wow, it's everything. It's dirt. It's a feeling. It's everything. Nothing is excluded. That's unconditional love. It's just everything. That's what we're looking for somewhere. But we look into something, we think, oh, that maybe it's that, or it's that, or it's for me. No, it's none of that. It's everything. Everything. Just the walking, saying, anything that's happening, that seems to happen. Wow, that's stunning. And it's already there. It's already what's going on. And then something goes on. What is that? What's going on? There's something outside. It is, I can't find it. I can't see that. And that can be very frustrating. I can hear that. It's also that is what's happening, but it doesn't feel like that, of course. Yeah. It's everything already. That's amazing. That's really amazing and stunning. And everything that when that no, it wasn't everything fell away, but that did come up. That whole thing, like, oh, what is going on here, and being busy with that. That didn't come up, and it was just so simple and normal. Like, wow, it's sort of in a way in the first moment there was some subtle disappointment because there was something looking at something special and woo like that or some energetic event or something like that. And it was like, oh, what's this? Yeah, of course. So,
It sounds funny.
mm,
Thank you.
okay. Oh, that's somebody saying. Seeing mountains, the sky, and nature, it's hard to discard the existence of God or sort of high intelligence, even if we are it. Yeah, you can say that. It's just seeing mountains. It's a mountain. It can be like that. But it's also with dirt. It can be suddenly like, whoa. And not like, oh my God, what is this beautiful? But it's like, oh. It's not about being, it's not about beauty. But we think with beauty, it's like it has to be God. But this is about everything. It's not only beauty in that sense of beautiful mountains or nature. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I couldn't call it intelligence. It feels more like yeah, life feels more like, yeah, I don't know, not something else. It's already, yeah, it's still, I can't say what it is. That's impossible. We try to call it in a way, but it's impossible. Doesn't need to. Life is stunning. It's just, it can be anything. It can be suddenly a lamp or bodies or dirt or amazing how that's just how that's going. And yeah, it's not always like woo woo walking around like that. But it can be very it's more subtle. Sometimes in these meetings it's getting stronger. Mm. Oh, there's another question. Why is there so much suffering in the world? It seems like, well, that's what they show us in the news. Yeah, there is. There's no world, but that's also, we are so convinced that there's a world outside that's in the news. We hear a lot of things and we imagine that there's a world outside. That's so normal to believe that there's something outside. That's what we can do. Like humans, we can imagine there's something outside. There's no outside, there's just this, but it's really like that. And the suffering, it's what is shown like that. It's 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 the story. It's seeing the story like there's something wrong and that we have to make it right. Or and I live in circumstances. Oh, I don't feel it's right, and I'm suffering. Of I want something else, and it's always the same story about there's something wrong with what is happening to me, and I want something else, and I would like that, and I can do it, or I cannot do it, or And that it's in all different ways, in war or in poverty or in how people treat me, or it's always the same story and in very different ways. And that's the suffering. The suffering is there's something wrong. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with the world, and they don't treat me well. It's always that same story, and that's the suffering, that there's something wrong. And it's so convincing and so normal. And then there's this message and saying, it's what it is. It's not right and it's not wrong. It's also not saying it's right. That's that's awful. It's just what it is. And it's what me does, of what that whole belief does, is that when there's someone, I'm here, and that is my life, and everything is happening to me. And because of that, because we live in time, we believe in time, and before and after, and consequences, and guilt, and responsibility, and I can do it, I have free will, so that when that working, it's my fault, and it's an endless, that's the suffering, and it can show in the world or in personal circumstances in that sense in the story. It's always the same story about good and bad. There's no good and bad. That's that's this message. It's about there's no one. There's already no one. And it's empty. Nothing is real. And that's another one. Because when there's someone, everything seems real. So it happens to you. Nothing is real. The body isn't real. Circumstances are not real. They are an appearance. That's the freedom. But it seems and it feels and it sees so real. And it's something else to hear that that's not real. That's never discussed. And then there's something else going. There can be the belief can be not that strong anymore, or maybe something else happening. But it's and then there's something else like, oh, there's no free will. Oh, there's no free will. What is that? And that can be so convincing. And suddenly there's maybe something going on like, oh, maybe that's it's not even, it's questioned. It's not like it's sure like that. It's not like you have to take that. No, it's like it's questioned, like a suggestion. It's like, oh, look into this. There's no free will. What do you think about that? Oh, it's not possible saying that. Or there's no one. Oh, it's just a suggestion. It's not the truth or something like that. And that you have to believe or have to feel that you, it's a suggestion like, oh, but something else was what always was there. So, oh, there can, maybe there's something in it or not. And that, oh, that, and underneath there's also going on something in these meetings. So that's destroying that whole belief system, say that. So suddenly there's something else going on, but it's not in the knowing. So sometimes it's not even noticed. So there are no problems. That's something strange to hear when there's living in the story. It's just this. It's only this. And there's no one. Already.
Hey, Rose.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Rose. A little to this. When you say this is everything and amazing and so on, it can gives this provoking sensing because I don't. And it is this comparing. I don't, in a way, I think, feel the same when you say, "Oh, it's amazing" and so on. But I agree totally. Yeah, if you can say, I agree with it. But it in a way, it can be this uh, be melancholic, glad, and it seems that it is in two different, yeah, it's just this that they can come. Oh, I shall feel the same as Rose when she talks about this message and so on, and it's just nonsense. I think it's totally because it is again how it is over here and how.
But doesn't need to be amazing like I'm saying this. It can
No.
also, sometimes it's also a bit melancholic, like, oh, whoa, whoa. And it can be also like crying, like, oh my God, it's this. It can be crying. I know that too. That sometimes it's just so touching and something else in that sense can also be like that. So it's different. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think I think I am a little bit afraid when people are too happy in a way.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but it's not like this. I'm afraid of it, but because I can by myself be totally yes, and so on. But
Yeah.
sometimes it can just gives a little bit. Okay, is it like
Yeah.
this? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. It's a wonder also for whoa, and there can be a feeling of whoa. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
I'm glad for that.
yeah. Yeah. It's so can be so touching also. Like, oh my God. And that's sometimes I'm walking there and I want to cry. So often want to cry, but there's some crying somewhere. So wow, it's so God, it's like that. So it's so different how it's feeling, how it's felt. It can be different.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Mm. It's this. It's just the computer. That's it. It's the walking. It's the sitting. It's the wall. It's everything. It's already everything. I need to look for it. It's already what is happening. There's no need for no me. There's already no me. This. It's the nothing. It's sitting. It's closing the computer. It's very tiny. It's very simple and ordinary. It's not special. It's ordinary, very normal, and it's exactly already what's going on. So it's the way the face is looking. It's the way their words are coming. It's that. It's not about knives. It's that. There can be a feeling, there can be a stress. It's everything. It's everything. That's the unconditional love, that nothing is excluded. There's nothing wrong. That's there's nothing wrong. There's nothing right either. There's no good or no bad. It's what it is. And that's it. Finish. Thank you. Thank you. Mm.